One player that I would love to leave their team, Tony, is Patrick Mahomes. I would love for him to leave today. Actually retire. Don't even go to another team. You already did enough. My pitch to Mahomes, Tony, was if you really want to be the GOAT, right, do something that Michael Jordan couldn't do. If Michael Jordan goes and has a Bo Jackson-like baseball career and just starts hitting home runs out of the park, that's going to boost his credibility over LeBron in the GOAT debate as a basketball player too, right? No one's ever done it. Brady didn't go and start playing baseball. So if Patrick Mahomes goes and plays baseball or cricket or any other professional sport and dominates it, wins 3 championships in a row, he can retire the GOAT of everything and not just be the GOAT of football. But anyways, Skip thinks and hates Patrick Mahomes also. There was a clip, Tony, where Skip took on 20 fans. I just wanted to see your reaction to this clip, which is just the Patrick Mahomes segment. But just imagine him doing this for all of Skip's most controversial topics, including NBA topics, for an hour and a half straight. That's basically what this show was.
Patrick Mahomes is dramatically overrated.
Oh, sorry, boys. Give me 30 seconds and give me how he's overrated with those parameters, because I can't go off just that.
I only need 2 seconds.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay. So the same.
Period.
The same guy. So the same guy in the 2010 wild card at home in Gillette, the house Brady built, got blown out by Joe Flacco, 33-14. He threw for, in Skip's terms, a grand total of 152 yards and 3 interceptions, and got punked by Joe Flacco. That guy.
No, the guy who went to 10 Super Bowls and won 7.
And got outplayed by Eli Manning twice.
And Bill Belichick cost him 2 Super Bowls.
He also won him 3.
Okay.
Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl without a top 10 defense. Okay. Ever. Period. End of conversation. Pro Football Reference. Look it up.
Okay. So, but this is about Patrick Mahomes, and I think you're ducking and dodging the issue.
What are you talking about?
Because you got to defend his Super Bowl performances.
If you want me to say, okay,
because I don't think you can.
How can you bomb a wild card game at home in Gillette and then say, oh, you made the most important game of the year and didn't play your best? This is bizarre to me. It will never make sense. No, real fast. Let me make this real fast. Greatest stadium in the world, 142.2 decibels, baby.
You remember the 2018 AFC Championship game
where Patrick never touched the ball, and the Chiefs wanted the rules changed. They didn't do it, but they did it for the Buffalo Bills.
Do you remember what Tom Brady did in your house? Did 3 times in a row. He faced 3rd and 10. 3 3rd and 10s in a row.
You're right.
He goes, Edelman, Gronk, ball game.
The same way Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 58, down 3 points in overtime, 2 4th downs, a 2nd and 14, because Marquez Valdez-Scantling forgot which way the end zone was and ran backwards, and he converted, and he hit who in the end zone? McCole Hardman for a touchdown back-to-back. Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
That was his one and only great Super Bowl.
It was unbelievable. All-time clutch. Also about this, since 2001, there has been 125 NFL playoff drives where the score was 7 points or less in the 4th quarter or in overtime. The rate of success of that is 40%.
Okay.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., as you like to put it, went 5 for 11 in that situation, which is 46%. That's pretty dang good. That's not bad. Okay. Patrick Mahomes went 7 for 7. What do you think of that one, Skip? Tell me. Come on, buddy.
Okay.
Shout out Shannon Sharp.
Let's get to the fact.
But anyways, it was a fun show, honestly, because we all know Skip for dying on whatever hills that he wants to die on. Before we get into the talk about Patrick Mahomes versus Brady, because what's crazy about these GOAT debates that we go into with LeBron, MJ, and all this stuff is you have to discredit the second best player of all time to boost who you think is the first best player of all time. Like, we aren't talking about first and second here. And then the second thing is, Tony, how do you think that I would fare 20 Raider fans versus 1 Raider hater in this? Like, you think I'll be able to take them all on?
I do, but I think you'd have to have like a controlled professional environment. I'm not sure you're going to be able to find 20 Raiders fans to be able to do that. Then you're also going to need security, because like all of the arguments would be in your favor.
And metal detectors
in that, right? Where it's like, yeah, you're going to need some
metal detectors,
some former offensive linemen from the Big Ten, a couple of guys who, couldn't quite even hack it in the UFL, but they're 6'6", 320 and can give you some protection there.
I think it would be very exposing also, Tony, because each person just comes up like, this is how it would go, right? Pretend like you're me, you're the Charger fan taking on the Raider haters, and I'm the Raider fan, right? 0 rings. 0 rings. No, you don't have any rings. You don't have any rings. All right, that guy's out. Next guy. Bet the Chargers haven't won a Super Bowl. Bet the Chargers haven't. Oh, come talk to me when you got some rings, all right? Come talk. And they start chugging their beer. But
And it's funny, too, because the person sitting in that seat was not alive for any of those Super Bowls. But yeah.
Also, every person, every Raiders fan, by the way, so you guys better be ready if you ever see me in person at the Raiders-Chargers game next year. They come up to me and start talking trash about the Chargers not having any rings. I tell them to name 5 players that were on the Raiders the last time they won a ring, and they can't name a single one. Y'all can't say Marcus Allen? Get the fuck out of my face then.
You have to go back to so there's in my brother's side of the family, an in-law there, he's a Raiders fan, and he's in his 50s. He lives and dies with the Raiders. But he was alive back in the day and saw all those teams. He can name those teams, and he'll talk so poetically about how they were. Whenever I talk to Raiders fans now, they talk about the Super Bowls as just a thing that they won.
They don't talk about the O-line or Flores or Madden or any of that history, any of it.
They can't recall a game, a moment, that just does, to me, it's like it doesn't mean as much. So I don't really care. I tend not to engage in these kind of debates anyways. It's pointless.
Me neither. I never ever.
Yeah.
I'm never ever arguing with anybody, especially Raiders fans. That's not my thing.
The greatest of all time debates is what Skip has kind of always hung his head on. Before we were talking, when you told me you were going to have something like this, and I have not seen this, I will not watch this. Skip used to do the same thing with Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. He always finds a way to have these things where no matter what, like you said, you're taking a stance and you have to discredit somebody who is one of the greatest of all time to compete, and you have to find ways to knock them down. Yeah. It's I don't like Patrick Mahomes at all, but is he in a conversation for what he's done in the first 7 or 8 years of his career on par with what Tom Brady did? No question about it. What we've seen from the Chiefs and what he's done, that run to the Super Bowl where they were down 10 points in every game is one of the greatest things that I've ever seen as a sports fan. It was insane to watch that. And in that run, too, I remember thinking, good for Andy Reid. I'm happy for it. Andy Reid's one of those guys, who's been a coach that has deserved to have this type of moment run. By the end of year 2, I was pretty sick of it. I'm pretty sick of it now. I'm done with the Chiefs. I hope that they stop winning, in perpetuity. But to sit down and have these arguments with whatever it is, it's in my mind, Tom Brady's the greatest to ever do it. Is there a chance that I could someday say Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it? Yeah, there's a path to that outcome for sure.
I think him being on the Chiefs burned all those paths for me, Tony. Unfortunately, I can just admit that I'm too biased to ever put Patrick Mahomes at number 1, but you're completely right about Skip there, because the way that debate ends is Skip basically says that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league right now. I don't even know if I'm putting it, I'm probably putting Josh Allen into this conversation versus Patrick Mahomes before Burrow.
Me too.
100%. Okay. Skip also said that Magic Johnson is the greatest Laker of all time, and it's not close. And I don't even know how you're just going to disrespect the dead like that. And then also said in there that LeBron and MJ's debate is not close. It's just so you're exactly right on Skip pushing the button and then just being I'm not taking my finger off of this. This is going to be my opinion until the end.
Well, because he always does these things where he's let me use logic on you, and then somebody will out-logic him, and then he's but that's not what we're talking. It's no, this is exactly what we're talking about. Shannon used to destroy him in some of these debates, and then Shannon would use actual personal life experience, and then Skip would attack him for that. And it's this is why this doesn't work when you have all-time great athlete arguing with this guy. But when you just have regular fan arguing with, regular fan as Skip and this guy, it's now you really can just see this is how it works. Like, you both are arguing your points and are going to put together whatever you think is the best debate to prove your point. And this is what I always tell my son, don't argue with it. Once you think this player is the best player, whatever it is, like, if my son was like, wanted to say something crazy where he's like, I think LaMelo Ball is the best player in the NBA, I'd be like, all right, you're wrong in my estimation, but like, who gives a shit? Like, have it be your opinion. Try to have some facts to support it. That would be a pretty tough opinion. It was kind of wild, the one that I gave, but like, who cares? Like, just move on. Don't argue.
Well,
do not engage these people.
He's perfected. No, don't listen to Tony. Engage these people, everybody. But Skip has perfected, and I'm trying to perfect it myself too. If anything, he has perfected like that beat, right? You're just constantly just going at the beat of the NFL drum, right? As a journalist, he just never stops. His finger is always on that pulse, and I just want to do that. That's my goal. I don't care if I suck and I get 0 views in every video, as long as I can just be as consistent in my life as a journalist as Skip Bayless is. I'm just as much a journalist as Skip Bayless, Tony, at this point.
At this point, yes.
So if I can just keep up that pace, I will say that is the one thing I do respect about Skip Bayless the most. Like, he is always on my feed, even though he doesn't have a show anymore. I don't even know how he does it at this point.
Well, so he's, like I said, created this ability to just find a way to irritate people, but he does it in a way that seems very authentic. He digs in and he does not argue for things that he doesn't really believe in, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else, or, like, around them. Like, it doesn't matter. No matter what fact you give him, you're always wrong. And that's what people want. So you're not really having an argument or a debate or anything, because neither mind is going to be changed.
Is there any off-the-wall takes that you can remember in your life, or thoughts or feelings about a player that you've had like that, where you're like, I don't care if I get proven wrong by facts, I'm still standing on this? Mine is that Odell Beckham Jr. is the greatest rookie receiver of all time.
Yeah, see, again, but that's one of those things where it's like, I'm okay with that argument. I think Randy Moss was.
Everyone's going to say Randy Moss or Jefferson, all right? The new age kids are going to say Jefferson. Everyone else is going to say Moss. But Odell put up the same numbers as those guys in 12 games that year. I feel like that's the best rookie season we've ever seen from a wide receiver.
Yeah, but again, like, nobody ever argues for like O.J. Simpson's 2,000-yard season in 14 games or whatever it is. True. So I think
you have a take like that, I should say, is really what I'm trying to ask here. Or something from your past that you can like pick out and remember. Like, oh, I remember standing on this one point that I wouldn't let go.
I had some pretty crazy Favre arguments back in the day, just because of the way it shook out. Like, for people who don't know this, where I grew up, and I'm old, and I grew up as a Packers fan. And the Aaron Rodgers situation, I stopped being a Packers fan. I was very upset when they traded Brett Favre, and I never was a Packers fan again. But my thing was always with Favre was like the Holmgren situation, leaving. Like, I thought that cut out an opportunity for that organization to really win a few more Super Bowls in that time and where they were at. And I used to argue that to no end. And then the older I got and the more I watched Tom Brady play, I was like, well, I'll never be able to like continue down this road or these arguments. But like, no, not really. I don't lean in hard enough on any one topic where I would ever sort of fall in line with Skip, where it's like this. Maybe if I knew enough people to argue about hockey, I would just be like, nobody's ever convinced me that that anybody's better than Wayne.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, Tony. People are going to start coming for you on this Alex Ovechkin thing. People are going to start coming. I'll just say that they're going to start saying it.
It's fine, the younger gen, but like, because I was always
honestly, I just wanted some brownie points with the hockey fans to shout out Alex. That's all.
Yeah, when I was younger, as a kid, like I was always a bigger fan of Mario Lemieux. Like he was one of my favorite hockey players, and I am a former hockey player. He was one of my favorites. But I still understood that like what Wayne Gretzky did on a nightly basis was absurd. The numbers, the statistics that he put up were just insane.
All right, back to football, Tony. I don't even know who
there
you're
you go.
talking about. See, that's where my hockey points go away.
Bill Flames, I went Mike on the mic. With something brand new, one time for your mind. He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.